Shabbat Shalom. I just want to welcome everyone to the Sabbath Day conference call. And this is Barbara serving as your host today, and Brother Pete is here as your co-host.
Yes, and I throw out a great welcome to you also.
Well, our title today is Saturn Worship, the Black Cube. And many of you know that Saturn Day is on our calendar. So we're going to learn a lot more about Saturn worship and the Black Cube today. So Saturn worship, it is represented by the Black Cube. Saturn, the ring giant, has captivated humanity for millennia. Its heavenly beauty, visible even to the naked eye, sparked wonder and curiosity in ancient civilizations. From those early observations emerged myths, rituals, and symbols that have endured through time. So Saturn's a sixth planet from the Sun, and it is known as the Lord of Time and the taskmaster of the cosmos. It is a planet of limitation, boundaries, and karma. Saturn is said to be the force that governs the cycles of birth, life, and death. This is all in astrology. So the Black Cube stands out as a particularly intriguing emblem that is associated with Saturn. Well, the Black Cube is Saturn in material form, a shape that represents finite reality, hard boundaries, and rigid structures. It is the ultimate symbol of restriction, whether in the form of physical, mental, or spiritual constraints. Its shape is perfect: 6 sides, 6 corners, and 6 edges. And we've heard those numbers before, 666, haven't we? So before the Great Flood, Saturn was regarded by all mankind as the supreme god and ruler of the kings. Occult researchers affirm that Saturn ruled the kingdom of Atlantis and became the divine ancestor of all earthly patriarchs and kings. And the Saturn cult is ingrained into every aspect of our life. Yet the true significance of Saturn can be found within secret societies and in the deepest underpinnings of religion. The cult of the Black Cube. The Saturn occult has been behind every great empire through history. This cult is made up of many famous individuals in Hollywood, politics, sports, music, and religion. The cult of the Black Cube is hoarding esoteric knowledge for themselves and also practicing black magic. And during the Super Bowl halftime shows and other musical performances, we can see the Saturn cult performing rituals or acting out historical and religious events, even under the guise of theatrical dance. We've all seen much of this in our lifetimes, and we did not relate it to the cult of Saturn. Well, the elites worship the Black Cube, and they know all about the cult of Saturn, as many of them belong to it. Saturn worship.
Saturn worship is your reality. Saturn worship is everywhere in all of your corporations, religions, and advertising. The cube represents Saturn. It is worshipped in Mecca. Jews wear a tefillin, a black cube on their foreheads over the pineal gland. If you are geometrical, represent the cross, it becomes a cube. You can see black cubes on Wall Street and other corporations around the world. You have an Apple store shaped like a cube. A Soviet Union flag of the hammer and sickle represents Saturn. The Jesuits have the symbol of Saturn in their logo. The snake on the cross is also a representative of Saturn. The Freemasons call their god the architect of the universe, the archeon technology of the universe.
You look all over the world, you will see these huge black boxes everywhere. Well, Saturn's North Pole hexagon is a massive, persistent, six-sided cloud pattern or jet stream. And this is known throughout the world right at the very North Pole of Saturn. And you can see it there. It's a hexagon and a cube. And we actually did a whole YouTube video about this, where you'll see the North Pole of Saturn and the storm there that is the shape of a hexagon, and the black cube fits within it. So the cube also fits inside the center of the Star of David. There it is. And this is the video that we did. I hope you'll go and look at the Star of David and the worship of Saturn. Here it is again, the star with black cube fitting exactly in the middle. And more pictures here showing the 6 points, 6 triangles, and 6 sides. And you'll see here the 6-sided polygon again, 3D cube worship in the Kaaba in Mecca. We've all heard that. The North Pole of Saturn is like we just said, the hexagon and the cube. Here it is in Santa Ana, Manhattan, Australia, Denmark, all over the world. Maybe we never noticed it before. I've never been around any of these, but it's very interesting to study how it's all connected to Saturn and Saturn worship. Here we go, New York, again, Orange County, Hamburg, Arabia, as we know, and also the little black box you might have seen on some of the Jewish people. So the black cube, a seemingly simple geometric shape, has taken on profound symbolic meaning across various cultures and belief systems. Its origins and interpretations are as diverse as the civilizations that have embraced it as a representation of the divine, the cosmos, or the fundamental forces governing the universe. Then various religious systems as a whole operate under the influence of Saturn. The roots of numerous religious establish a fixed framework with a Satan or Saturn influence. When religions bind themselves to doctrines, dogmas, and external rites, it binds them to forms of Saturn worship. So here is the big 3 monotheistic religions, and they lead to Saturn. You see the crescent moon there, and Saturn, black cube of Kaaba and Mecca, as we've already mentioned. The North Pole of Saturn is a hexagon, and then that cube fits right in that hexagon, and the Star of David. Also, this speaks of the cross unfolding into a cube. We know that he was hung on a tree, it says. I'm not sure how much that word cross has been added into our scriptures. Anyways, and also the Greek symbol for Saturn, cross with a sickle. And then you have the Teflon black cube for Jewish prayers. Here are more of the world religions supporting the hexagram. The Star of Remphan, remember, we have studied that before. The Star of Remphan actually is Saturn. So we have that star in Hinduism, Catholicism, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, Freemasons, Mormon, and Satanism. We all know about this. This is the hugest one in the world, I think, the Kaaba in Mecca. And Muslims take a pilgrimage to the Kaaba in Mecca, a building shaped like a black cube, which they run around the outside in circles, and this represents the rings of Saturn. when they're running around counterclockwise all around that square, it's representing the rings of Saturn. So practitioners of Semitic religion wear phylacteries on their forehead and arm while they pray. And phylacteries are actually small black cubes. And here are a couple here. Here's more again, more pictures. The Kabbalah there has the star and all of that. It's all related to the occult and these symbolisms of eagle, actually. Here we go again with the star, the six-pointed star, the six triangles, the 63 60-degree angles, and the six-sided hexagram, 666. And remember what the Bible says, Acts 7:43, about Israel carrying their star with them? Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Molech and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. So the black cube in Freemasonry.
The Masonic symbol of the compass and square are just a representation of the symbol of Saturn. The Freemasons have long used the symbolism of the black cube in their rituals, seeing it as a representation of the rough ashlar, the unshaped stone that must be molded to fit into a predetermined structure.
Here are a lot of symbols we've all seen representing the star, and we know that inside of the star fits the black cube. And the cube represents the material world and space, time, capturing the structured and confined nature of earthly reality and representing the temple or a structure. So here it is, the apple symbol, and see the line of the square there, the black cube. And we know Saturn is Father Time. We've done quite a few videos about Kronos, Saturn, the god of Saturn, and Saturnalia. We just did that last week. So Saturn is Father Time.
Saturn is represented by the figure Kronos. Kronos represents time. Kronos is pictured with a white beard holding a sickle. Saturn is known as Father Time. He also became the Grim Reaper, or Death. Masonic symbol of the compass and square are just a representation of the symbol of Saturn. Kronos became crown, related to the bloodlines, the worship of Ra, or the sun, is Saturn worship. Saturn was the Earth's primordial sun. You see it in pictures of Isis.
So, worship through compliance. Once Saturn ceases to be just a myth and becomes a living structure, his presence shifts from temples and scriptures to the invisible frameworks that define our everyday existence. And no longer invoked through prayer, Saturn is obeyed through compliance, through timetables, through policies, through silence. Saturn rules all systems that impose order through boundaries, laws, bureaucracies, institutions, ledgers, contracts, and time. We don't even think about it in our day, but this is really running from the beginning of time through now. Saturn worship is in all of our time in the day and age we live in still. Saturn is Kronos, the god of time. Kronos' reign was also remembered as a golden age, a time of peace, abundance, and harmony. This duality is reflected in Saturn's symbolism which encompasses both the destructive and regenerative forces of time. The cube is not just about limitation. It's also a prison for the human soul, a prison designed to keep us tied to the material world. Modern society is built entirely around the ritual of time. The clock is an unblinking eye. Every hour is quantified. The calendar has become sacred. Every action is scheduled. Birthdays, deadlines, and retirement ages. So we've been talking about Saturn, and Saturn's day of worship is called Saturday. And I just want to focus back on why we're here today is to worship on the correct calendar. And it is the calendar in the heavens, and it's the calendar that Yeshua kept. He did not worship the god Saturn or any of those images or times that he may have been surrounded by, because I guess Saturn worship is right from the beginning of time. So which calendar, which timepiece did Yeshua keep when he was here? And this covers a whole video that we did about it. So to find out more about Saturn worship, about how we got the name Saturday, Saturn on this as the 7th day of the week, when Saturn Day was originally the first day of the week. I just hope you'll go and find some of these videos and watch them for yourself and see the true calendar and the true worship system, so that you will know, when you'll be able to recognize all these false worship systems that we are surrounded with. So I invite you to go to our website, LunarSabbathDay.com, for a lot more information. And thank you for being here today.